travel along, Catholic pilgrims, for 1 year as we read through St. Faustina's diary. Join me, Amy Thomas, each day for a short reading out of the diary which brought us a deeper understanding of Christ's divine mercy. Hey, Catholic pilgrims. It's day 41 of our readings from St. Faustina's diary. Have you ever thought that, trying to live out a holy life is a lonely road? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Sister Faustina has some, heartbreaking words. She writes down about how the other sisters in her convent are treating her. And I imagine it was a very lonely road, aside from, Christ being with her, but just a lonely earthly road for her. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Our readings today are going to be from Notebook 1, 125 through 128. All these things could still be endured, but when the Lord demanded that I should paint that picture, they began to speak openly about me and to regard me as a hysteric and a fantasist, and the rumors began to grow louder. One of the sisters came to talk to me in private. She began by pitying me and said, "I've heard them say that you are a fantasist, sister, and that you've been having visions. My poor sister, defend yourself in this matter." She was a sincere soul, and she told me sincerely what she had heard, but I had to listen to such things every day. God only knows how tiring it was. Yet I resolved to bear everything in silence, and to give no explanations when I was questioned. Some were irritated by my silence, especially those who were more curious. Others, who reflected more deeply, said, "Sister Faustina must be very close to God if she has the strength to bear so much suffering." It was as if I were facing two groups of judges. I strove after interior and exterior silence. I said nothing about myself, even though I was questioned directly by some sisters. My lips were sealed. I suffered like a dove, without complaint. But some sisters seemed to find pleasure in vexing me in whatever way they could. My patience irritated them. But God gave me so much inner strength that I endured it calmly. I learned that I would have help from no one at such moments, and I started to pray and beg the Lord for a confessor. My only desire was that some priest would say this one word to me: "Be at peace, you are on the right road," or "Reject all this, for it does not come from God." But I could not find such a priest who was sufficiently sure of himself to give me a definite opinion in the name of the Lord. And so the uncertainty continued. "O Jesus, if it is your will that I live in such uncertainty, may your name be blessed. I beg you, Lord, direct my soul yourself and be with me, for of myself I am nothing." Thus I have already been judged from all sides. There is no longer anything in me that has escaped the sisters' judgment, but it seems now to have worn itself out, and they have begun to leave me in peace. My tormented soul has had some rest, and I have learned that the Lord has been close to me in times of such persecutions. This truce lasted for only a short time. A violent storm broke out again, and now the old suspicions became for them as if true facts, and once again I had to listen to the same old songs. The Lord would have it that way. But then, strangely enough, even interiorly, I began to experience various failures. This brought down on me many sufferings of all sorts, known to God alone. But I tried as best as I could to do everything with the purest of intentions. I could now see that everywhere I was being watched like a thief. In the chapel, while I was carrying out my duties, in my cell, I was now aware that besides the presence of God, I had always close to me a human presence as well. And I must say that more than once, this human presence bothered me greatly. There were times when I wondered whether I should undress to wash myself or not. Indeed, even that poor bed of mine was checked many times. More than once, I was seized with laughter when I learned they would not even leave my bed alone. One of the sisters herself told me that she came to observe me in my cell every evening to see how I behave in it. Still, superiors are always superiors, and although they humiliated me personally and on occasions filled me with all kinds of doubts, they always allowed me to do what the Lord demanded. Though not in the way I asked, but in some other way, they fulfilled the Lord's demands and gave me permission for all the rigors and mortifications he asked of me. One day, one of the mothers, probably Mother Jane, poured out so much of her anger on me and humiliated me so much that I thought I would not be able to endure it. She said to me, "You queer, hysterical visionary, get out of this room. Go on with you, sister." She continued to pour out upon my head everything she could think of. When I got to my cell, I fell on my face before the cross and then looked at Jesus. But I could no longer say a single word. Yet I concealed everything from the others and pretended that nothing had happened between us. Oh, man. It's like I said, it's kind of heartbreaking how she's treated. And it does kind of seem like a lonely road. She's here in this convent. And again, I think we all tend to think that nuns suffer no temptations for sin or anything like that. But they do. Of course they do, just like the rest of us. But, rumors are starting to grow. And she talks about how the Lord demanded that she should paint this picture. And then people started, kind of spreading rumors about her. Oh, she's some kind of weird visionary. Is this from God? Maybe she's so weird. I mean, even one of her mothers says that she's this queer, hysterical visionary. And she chooses to remain quiet. She even has a sister who tries to come and kind of comfort her and say, defend yourself, stand up for yourself. And she remains silent. And this reminded me so much of Christ when he was being questioned by the Pharisees, and they were just asking him all these different things, and there was false witnesses against him. And even when Pilate was questioning him, Jesus barely says anything. And I think it's for a couple reasons. For one, he's just meant to endure that suffering. And for two, sometimes there's just nothing you can say that will get people to understand you. And so just staying quiet is about all you can do. But she even recognizes that this is irritating. And, even Christ, when the Roman soldiers were mocking him and, hitting him and treating him badly, he just stays quiet because there's nothing he could say that could make them realize that what they were doing was wrong, or to change their mind, or to open their mind. And like I said, he was just enduring his suffering for us. That was the sins of the world being laid upon him. But she goes on and, she does acknowledge, Christ is with her through all this. So, why I say it's a lonely road, Christ is always with us. And she knows that she's able to endure all the suffering because he's with her. And then she even goes on to say she's getting judged from all sides. And then it kind of wears out. She's her silence has just worn them out. And even though they're super curious about her and poking and prodding at her, her silence has just, let the steam out of them. But then it comes back, and it's kind of funny how she describes it. And now the old suspicions became, for the sisters, as if true facts. And once again, I had to listen to the same old songs. So I kind of love how she describes that, like, here we go again. Now I got to listen to it again. She goes on to talk about how she's constantly watched. And when she says, I was now aware that besides the presence of God, I had always close to me a human presence as well. What she's speaking about is the sisters are always watching her. They're watching her when she's in the chapel. They're coming into her bedroom, into her cell, see what she's up to. How's she behaving in there? What's going on? We want to see. They're so curious. They just got to know. And so she feels like she's always got eyes on her, some human presence right there with her. And she's like, I feel like I can't even wash or undress because somebody's going to be watching me. Now, what does this mean? And I was thinking of some other saints that have had a terrible time, with judgment from people. I thought of St. Rose of Lima. Her mother was just awful to her. When St. Rose was trying to, grow in holiness, her mother was, oh gosh, I mean, if you've ever read one of her stories, her mother was just downright mean. And St. Thomas Aquinas, I mean, we know his family was not happy with his choice of being a Dominican, and they didn't understand that at all, and they wanted him to be the abbot of Monte Cassino, I guess that's how you say it. And so anyway, I just think that there are so many times when we're trying to grow in holiness and people just will not understand it. And what we need to think about is, what do we think sanctity is supposed to look like? Because when somebody tries to grow in holiness and they're trying to recognize more sins in their life and they're trying to see Christ in people and they're trying to get rid of their vices, that's what holiness looks like. And oftentimes we have people who are like, stop that. You're being a hysterical weirdo. What are you doing? And I think it's because it shines a light on them. And they see that they don't have that kind of union with God themselves. And so they want kind of this tame, calmed down, don't make us all look bad, okay? You're making us all look bad, so would you just calm down with it? When that's not why Sister Faustina is going through these trials, and that's not why she's having these visions. This is what God chose for her to do. This was her calling. So often when we're trying to grow in holiness, we will have the people around us, come on, why can't you listen to that song? I mean, why can't you go see that movie? Well, what? Now you're going to be one of those religious people? I mean, how many times have we seen that happen to people? All the time. And we just have to draw close to Christ and to our Mother Mary and, to the saints that have endured this kind of suffering. And they will help us. And, if you're trying to grow closer to God and you're going to the sacraments and you're trying to remove vice from your life and you're trying to grow in holiness, you're going to get people who are going to treat you like the sisters are treating Sister Faustina. They're going to be watching you. They're going to be poking and prodding at you. What are you doing? And, even if you keep silent, they're going to get more curious. So don't give up. Don't let that dissuade you. Like she says, she wants somebody to say, be at peace, you are on the right road. If you are trying to grow in holiness with God, you are on the right road. And don't let anybody dissuade you from that, Catholic pilgrims. So I will see you here tomorrow for day 42. I look forward to seeing you all. And I'm so glad you're joining me on this pilgrimage through St. Faustina's diary. And until tomorrow, live the faith boldly and travel well.